my chest to the ground now. So as I point my chest to the ground here, it takes him over.
I can definitely feel the torque.
Yeah. So you should technically, like, what Henry and John both say is that a guy should be in perfect base, and you can sweep.
I would never expect that, because if I saw a guy straighten out on me, I'd be like, well, dude, you don't. I mean, I'm used to being in over top, just sweep. I wouldn't expect it. It would catch me off guard, guys.
Would that work with no gi?
So with the MMA gloves, it works very well. So that's what Henry was saying. Now with no gi, his arm might be a little bit more slippery, but I could go two hands.
Yeah.
With no gi, come here, boom,
Yeah.
and take him over with a two-hand grip. With an MMA glove, I could get away with one grip. One more thing that Pedro showed me years ago for you is scissor sweep. Boom, you're having trouble here. Let go of the collar, sit up, pummel underneath to his back. And now, as I bring him up, he has to get loaded.
Yeah.
We'll go over.
Like it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
And that'll work well for Nogi.
Pedro's so sneaky.
But the mechanic on, the one that Henry has shown,
Yeah.
and that John shows all the time.
That would catch me off guard.
Yes.
Because it looks to me like you're just creating distance and, afraid of the punches, but
And where it works really well is when you're in guard posture and the way that Henry shows that hits in guard posture. So I'm in your guard. So instead of being on my toes, I'm not going to be on my toes. Instead of my back being straight, I'm around my back, my spine. Like this. Now try scissor sweep me. See how far back I am? Because I'm sitting like with a bad posture. Now do the Henry Aiken scissor sweep. You should still catch me. Nope. Turn your chest to the ground. Yes. So the two postures I'm talking about is like this here, boom, kind of classic, right? I'm sitting up, and then this here. Yeah. Just sit there and chill. Oh, it's getting harder and harder on my knees now. My knees don't handle that very well. So we're not going to use it. But if somebody's in that posture and you want to scissor sweep them, it's the only way you're going to scissor sweep them. Because the way their knees are positioned, their hips are so far back from their hips. It's like impossible. Scissor sweep. Anything else?
it's your turn for a question now.
I don't know.
I got another question.
Oh, you got.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, make sure don't want you to repeat yourself. For standing guard pass, you say you have to either control
Control.
hips
Hips.
or arm. Okay.
When you're starting out, I would go with arms or hips.
Okay.
Now, once you get a little bit more comfortable, now you can start to experiment with staggering your feet, right? So one's front, one's back, or pulling your foot out.
Okay.
So the pulling your foot out is a lot of timing.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
if you watch Marcelo Garcia, that's how he passes everybody's guard. That's the only pass he uses usually. He puts his hands to their biceps, he stands up, he lets him grab the ankles, throws his foot back, and then passes it.
Okay.
He does it.
Because I've seen the one where they like crush, but every time I do that one, I always get.
You got
sweat.
dumped over the top. Yep.
So it's like.
You don't want to crush.
Okay. Cool.
I know you've been over it with me, but technical mount escapes. The one that you've shown me is to reach underneath the leg, but
That's what
I
I'm
can
Or
never do
knees
that.
deep. So, yeah, we'll show him that later.
I can never do that.
I do the one where you come underneath, like you see where they go.
Right. Oh.
Me and Levon, the guy that moved, we came up with an escape for that too.
Okay.
I want to show you later.
Okay.
It works pretty well. No hands.
No hand.
What?
Anyway, you got a
Go ahead. No, that was it.
my thing is posture, like good defensive posture of us are in either guard primarily and mount. The guys defensive,
You want control of their arms.
Yeah. I know, like if I'm in mount, throw some chokes on or whatever to help them block and their arms come up, but still, just getting the arms easy.
So I'm probably not going to show you anything you don't know, but go ahead. And we'll see the arms you're talking about. Okay. So if it's this cross here, then I'm gonna keep the arms crossed. So if it's the cross here, now I'm gonna take advantage of that. I'm gonna grab 4 straws here, and we're gonna start to work here. I'm gonna wrap you up in here and start working the gift wrap, right? So I'm gonna make life miserable on you with a gift wrap, and you're gonna have to start to defend this because this is gonna get tighter and tighter and tighter, and I'm gonna eventually work for an arm lock.
Okay.
So if your arms are crossed, then I'm gonna gift wrap. So if you go like Home Alone like that, I'm gonna gift wrap. Okay. If you're like this, boom. Yes, this is harder to do. So
I don't do that, and I don't think I told them not to do that.
yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's effective. If you grab the gi like that, it's going to be very effective. But if I see a cross, I'm going to go with the cross.
Okay.
I'm not going to fight your cross.
Yeah.
Now, Mike Withrow showed me something. I don't know where he got it. He probably had it. Who knows? But if you really wanted to attack this arm here, it's going to be hard to push down, right? Because you're going to be pretty tight. So instead of me pushing like this, just shake it. So you're here, boom, that's tough.
Nice.
So you
That
go-
works really well.
Yeah, so it's boom, going like that. That's it. So this one here usually doesn't give me too many issues because you're kind of setting yourself up for the gift wrap.
Yep.
So now this one like this right here can cause me problems sometimes. Like if you grab, this one here, and that's tough. I'm probably gonna take you back, so I'm just gonna guide you over, boom, wrap you up, take you back, and start making you work from here. You know, so I'm just gonna up the ante one bit and see what you can do. If you grab like this and stick your elbows down, like that, that's a little bit more difficult because it's a little bit more technically correct. But still, I can probably still work up. Yes, now we're talking difficult because your elbows are down.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to
But
be
if you
hard.
can get that arm up.
So when your elbows go down to your side is your best defensive posture, but it leaves you neck open. So the hand comes into the collar, right? So now when the hand comes into the collar, I'm not going to immediately come over and choke. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break my wrist like this. Here. Like that.
Man, you already want to tap.
Yeah.
That's
So you've got to move now, right? And what does that do? That causes this arm to come up. So when I go like this, and this arm comes up, I slide my leg in behind it. And now I start the choke. What do you have to do for the choke? You got to start defending with your arms. And as you're defending with your arms, I'm just working. And now I have the choke and the arm lock to choose from. So it all depends on where their arms are. You just gotta pause for a second and take advantage, figure out how you're gonna take advantage of the situation. If you can put your hand inside the collar and do that right against their neck, it'll cause a reaction. And it'll cause a reaction
So it's just
without.
grab it and break it.
Yep. So I'm not gonna do it on his neck, but I drive my wrist into his neck like that.
Yeah, it sucks.
So I just go like
Like
this.
you almost want to tap from that.
And it'll make him move. It'll make him move without having to like wrench his neck. Because I've seen other people where they grab the top of the head and start wrenching like the spine.
Yeah, you gotta
That's
feel
not
that.
cool. You feel it?
Yeah, you got to feel it.
So your hands are in nice and tight here. Yes. Because that's the good posture. Right now I'm worried about escape. So I'm going to come through. And instead of just working to choke you,
Oh, dang.
go like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see as my weight transfers and goes into your neck,
Yeah.
everything moves, and I slide my leg under here and then start to work this one over.
Definitely puts a
Yeah,
smile on your face.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome.
If they're crossed, just go for the gift. You know, if they're crossed, go for the gift. So here, yeah, perfect. Right here.
Yeah.
See what I mean, Austin? Like,
Yeah.
Like you almost want to tap them.
Yeah, like that starts like crushing the back of my neck.
And you're fighting it. Most people don't fight it. As soon as As soon as they feel this, they start to move. Yeah, because that's all it takes to get rid of the pressure. Just bring your elbow up and move, and then I can start to slide in around you. I ideally want this elbow above my hip, not below, not like in my nuts there, because he's got an advantage there. Yeah, he's underneath me now. So when I break and he goes up, I want that to go above my hip area now, right here. And I'm not even on him now. I'm off over here to the side right now. So there's really no pressure on him. I just lean up and move right here. So there's not any pressure on him. So, what's something else I can show you? Go down again. He has his elbows in. And you might have seen this before, Scott. But do your elbow escape, your elbow knee escape. Perfect. Go back. All right. Do your elbow knee escape. So you know the crossface that you did for the blue belt test, but you were doing it off of he's He-Man, he knows nothing. You go whack and hit him in his face, right? If I'm here and he knows jiu-jitsu, I just go like this. He can't elbow knee escape with his head going this way. He's got to stop. Unless he wants to like hurt his own neck, he's got to stop. So I can close my eyes and now I can just kind of feel which way he goes. I just walk over. It'll make him stop. Maybe. Austin's pretty hard-headed.
He is. Yeah. He's
You literally break him before it is
yeah, something will break on his body before he stops.
So when you feel him going either way, if you stop it early, you can stop it with your forearm. And just kind of tilt his head a little bit. If I wasn't actually demoing, I would never do it him that hard because I wouldn't want to hurt his neck. So.
I'll live.
Yeah, I know you will.
Where's the tree? Let me pop this back.
I know.
He's the only guy I've ever met that if I catch them in an Americana, may not get it. Like fully locked up, boom, everything in close, can power through. I mean, I've caught big dudes in it, and they can't power through like he does. It's weird.
Yeah, I tapped him pretty quickly. That's called shoulder surgery in the making right there.
Oh,
That's
TRICARE. Don't
Keep on with that. Let me know how that one works.
I already had back surgery. Good. Copays
Good.
$0.
Very good. Very good. So you wanted the posture in the guard, right?
So, similar problems in the guard, just utilizing.
Who are you?
I'm the guy on the bottom.
You got the bottom?
Yeah, just really effectively getting the arms. Because if I have a guy that I'm really struggling with, and I can't get anything, a lot of times I'll either just go ahead and try to go for a hip bump sweep, or I'll band a position altogether and pop up and take us back. You know what I mean?
So let me see what they're doing to you, okay? So just start your posture.
Looks so easy.
Right? Start your posture.
Wow. I have no idea what's just
Yeah, like what?
So come here. Okay, so I don't want you to grab my gi, okay? I want you to think about Austin's trying to punch me right now, okay? So when Austin goes to punch me, I don't want to reach up and grab him, all right? Because when I reach up and grab him and try to pull him in, I'm going to get knocked out, right? So what do I use? I use my legs. So I connect with my knees. In other words, I have a knee pinch here, and I bring my knees to my chest. So when he goes to punch me, go ahead, boom. Now, when we're doing gi jujitsu, and he's an amazing ninja. I can't do that because he's not trying to punch me. So he has the ability to brace. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking where his elbows are. I can see the inside of his elbows right now. Which way do his elbows hinge? His elbows hinge this way. Yeah. So keep your elbows right where they are. Okay? All right? This is what most of you guys are doing. You're trying to pull like this. Don't let me pull you.
Okay.
Yep. Here's what I'm doing. Don't let me pull you.
Okay.
Okay? So what I'm doing is the gi is assisting me, but the movement is with my knees. I'm pinching my knees, dropping my heels to like his butt bone, and now I'm bringing my knees to my chest. And that brings him forward.
Yeah, because I'm not even on my feet anymore at that point.
So, and the cool thing about this is that Austin's good, but he doesn't have the best base in the world. So, when I'm here, I can start to actually just knock him over sometimes
Now
without
you've,
even a
you've
real
opened
slip.
his arms now.
Yeah. Now, how can Austin stop this? Is by turning his elbows the other way. Yes. This. Now that's a good brace. So I have to go this way. Over the top. I got to go underneath. I got to cut underneath of him. I did that to you one time because you naturally did this. So you put your elbow out and braced. So I went like this. What is Austin his natural reaction to do? Well, drop his elbow down.
You take advantage of that
Yep.
dead space.
If I can get absolutely nothing, because he has great guard posture, and he doesn't have his hands on me. Yes, this. Now I sit up. Alright?
Yeah.
And if I can get absolutely nothing working from there, or I just want to, now I'll open my guard. Right? Start playing open guard. And run around to his back or whatever. But what I'm doing for the most part, if I close my guard, I want him close to me. So I bring him in. I just kind of row him in this way to assist. But the magic's happening with the legs. Oh, right here. This is coming forward. We're pulling him in.
So you're tucking the feet.
Mm-hmm.
Playing the feet.
Pinch the knees. Good.
Okay.
Try just grabbing his collar now. And pull. Like you probably always used to do. Yes. Okay? Now. There you go. You're using your legs instead of your arms. Before you were just using your arms, and primarily just your forearm. There you go.
Can I ask a question? That brings up some. Spence is very good, Scott. Very good at he's bracing my hips. How to break their hands. And you said do an underhook.
So you don't with this.
Okay.
So he's bracing my hips. Okay? Just be careful of your wrists.
What do you mean? You're talking about this?
Yeah. So I'll try to drive him with my legs, but he has a good posture.
So he's bracing on my hips now?
Yep. And I just breaks.
He breaks it.
Okay.
He breaks it.
So you don't know.
Yep. So some guys will grab your belt and brace your hips, but that's very dangerous for him because as I bring him forward, his wrists are in a position to get wrist locked. So it's very dangerous for him to be at my hips when I'm doing this technique of bringing him forward.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that defeats it. So if you're the guy who's on top, you never want both hands anywhere near the same plane. That's going to make things a little harder on me, is because he's got separate planes. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you now. So
Can I ask another one?
Yep.
Do
Yep.
it,
Go
do
for
How
it.
do you escape hooks?
from the back.
No. He hooks you in from standing, like get on back. So
Oh, like
say-
an open guard.
Yeah, and And he just follows you the whole way around. And it frustrates the life out of you.
So, man, there's a lot to that. A lot. Step one is you got to get control of his legs more than he has control of your legs. So if he's here, I got to make sure that I have a good base and I'm finding good grips in here. Yep. So I can start making my movements. So you see how I drop my butt down?
Yeah.
So I might be up here, but my butt, I'm constantly keeping my head and chest in line with my butt now. If my butt goes this way, I can get lifted. Or if my head goes this way, I can get lifted that way. Yeah. If my head goes back this way, yes, I can get dumped that way. So the first thing is my base. Second thing is I'm not trying to run around. All right? I'm never going to probably beat him unless he's sleeping. If Skip starts talking to him, maybe I can win, right? So when he's got his open guard and I'm in here, I'm coming in, I'm controlling. Or if it's no-gi, I'm controlling his feet and his toes. So here's what I want you to think of. I want you to think of his body like a ladder, okay? Toes, knees, hips, chest, head. Yeah. So I'm trying to go all the way up the ladder. That's what I'm trying to do. All right? So without a gi, I'm coming in. I control toes first, knees, hips, chest, head. All right? And one more way to make it easier is when I have hip control, before I try to go any farther, before I pass these hips, I attach myself to him first. And now I pass the hips. And the reason because of that, and this is probably what Scott's doing to screw you guys up, is you get here, and you start trying to pass the hips, and his legs keep coming back in the party.
Yeah.
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 So when I come in here, boom, whichever method I'm using, here, before I make my pass, before I do anything, I'm attached to him. Before I'm past his leg, I'm going to attach to him. And I'm going to make sure I'm nice and tight to him. And I'm going to pass. So my favorite pass for the open guard, because in competition, in my weight division, everybody plays open guard. So when I come in, my favorite thing to do is as I come in, boom, boom, is grab here. And I shift myself. And I hang out right here. And I just wait until I have everything that I want. Because my goal is now to grab this arm. He's not going to let me. Yeah. Because if I just say, screw it, hey, screw it. And I'm just going to pass. His leg's coming back in the party. Yeah. So now, make sure everything's set before I pass. So I gave you really two concepts here. One, control working up the ladder. Two, when you're passing, don't be in such a hurry to pass the legs. You want to get to that spot where you're almost past, you're completely safe. Sit there, get everything bunkered down. Okay, that's your tree fort, all right? And then you're going to make your attack, okay? So another example would be like from closed guard. I get here, as soon as I get here, I go, ah, I try to run around him, right? There's no need for that. I get to close guard, boom, and I hang out here. And I pause. He can't submit me. There's nothing he can do. He's not comfortable now. I'm comfortable. And now I get to make my choice which way I go. I don't rush through the process. So my goal, when I'm trying to pass guard, my goal is not to pass this guard. I break it up in chunks. My goal is to get to one of my safe zones. I know that my safe zone is here. I pause here now. I know my safe zone is here. I pause here now, right? So instead of like the big overall, I'm climbing up a mountain, I'm gonna stop at a base camp in between, right? I'm not gonna try to go straight to the top. I'm not gonna go straight to the top of Everest. I'm gonna get to the base camp and chill for a minute, get acclimated, and then I'm gonna go. So you can kind of pause there. Find those pauses. Pauses take a long time for you to find out where you're safe.
That's a good preacher.
You'll get a lot of, you'll get submitted a lot trying to find those pauses. But those pauses make all the difference.